Hello, this is Angela with Parkrose Permaculture. If you have not seen part 1 of this video, I encourage you to go do that now. I'm really keen on how we can take our drive for the permaculture ethics of earth care, people care, and fair share, and use those to bloom where we are planted, to make our immediate communities, our neighbors around us, all participate in the abundance and regeneration of permaculture design, of creating truly sustainable communities. And I just feel like everybody's gonna comment down below, oh my goodness, you are such an idealist, Angela. And I really, really am, but I also really believe what I'm saying. We can make positive change in our community. So specifically, I want to talk for a few minutes about what's happening in the Parkrose neighborhood. Thank you everybody for helping me get to 30,000 subscribers. I feel like that makes me what they call a mid-sized YouTube channel now. And I feel like I have a level of obligation to use my platform for good. And so, again, ever the idealist, I want to take a few minutes here and talk about what's happening with Parkrose and ask for your help. Parkrose is a neighborhood in outer Northeast Portland. It is not a sexy, shiny neighborhood. It's not a neighborhood you would ever have seen on an episode of Portlandia. It is a working class, formerly agricultural neighborhood. In fact, my parents' house 1 block away was originally a commercial cherry orchard. The lots here were divided up many, many decades ago. Because we're not in a sexy part of the city, we tend to be neglected pretty heavily by city government. And folks may or may not agree with me on that, but I've been here 14 years and I've watched the city repeatedly make promises to this neighborhood that it later comes back and says, actually, we don't have the funds for this. And then watch them use those funds in shinier, swankier parts of inner Southeast and Northeast Portland on the west side and not use them here. And so residents of Parkrose can feel really neglected and frustrated. And the solution, I think, to that is to get involved with our local neighborhood association. What can we do as citizens of Parkrose to band together to fight for the ways that we want to make Parkrose a more equitable, supported, sustainable community? What can we do to improve the quality of the neighborhood when it feels like the city of Portland just wants to do things that drag down the quality of the neighborhood and the quality of life for the residents here? We are Portlanders, just like folks in swankier neighborhoods in Portland. We want the city of Portland to fulfill its promise to be committed to social justice, racial justice, and environmental justice in every neighborhood in Portland, not just the affluent parts of the city. At our last neighborhood association meeting, I was informed that a project that I thought was a done deal is actually not. At the end of my street is an old Kmart that went out of business a number of years ago before the pandemic. It sat abandoned. It is across the street from the high school and the junior high. It is next to an elementary school, adjacent to an elementary school. It abuts multiple residential areas, apartments and houses. This abandoned Kmart has become a center for crime. The Proud Boys seemed to think it was a great place for them to enact their shenanigans during the pandemic. It's an area that has become abandoned and run down and an area that is crime ridden and needs help. It needs help, right? It's a commercial area. The city came in and rezoned that area. We didn't really realize it was happening. They rezoned it from commercial to industrial, light industrial. The city wants a 38-bay distribution center for a trucking company to come in there, Prologis Incorporated.
I'm going to cut in here really quickly and point out that the owner of this project is the owner of the Minnesota Vikings, already an obscenely rich individual who hopes to get even more wealthy, putting in a polluting diesel depot in a low-income neighborhood in Portland, Oregon.
This proposed development has real risks for the neighborhood of Parkrose and everybody in Portland. Risks to our safety, our well-being, and our health, and to the quality of life for everyone in the Parkrose neighborhood. I don't think Portland would have dared to do this in a more affluent neighborhood. Parkrose is the most diverse school district in the entire state of Oregon. We have a high population of BIPOC families and immigrant families here. We are a working class neighborhood. We are a neighborhood that historically has struggled in many ways. And instead of creating infrastructure and adding businesses and and design elements and city planning that could help elevate the neighborhood and the quality of life for folks here, it feels like we're a dumping ground for things that the city needs, tax base that the city needs, that they wouldn't dare put in elsewhere. So the increased truck traffic from 38 big rig bays is going to significantly complicate the already problematic traffic situation down at that end of my street. The air pollution would most impact the elderly and the children. The air quality from 38 bays of many dozens of diesel-powered big rigs coming and going in our neighborhood would be significant. There is lots of data out there that shows that diesel air pollution impacts the health and cognitive abilities of children. It is a significant problem, and those effects are lasting. It is a significant problem. But the city of Portland seems to think it's okay to let a large diesel trucking company come in next to 3 schools. They're already near the airport, where we get pollution from the airport, from the railway this way. There's already pollution, noise, and air pollution from those sources as it is, and the city is going to add to that this large diesel trucking facility. The city of Portland has said it is committed to racial justice, social justice, and environmental justice. But none of those are playing out here in the Parkrose neighborhood with the addition of this diesel trucking facility. One of the things that I was so encouraged by at the neighborhood association meeting was seeing a number of older women stand up, older white women stand up and say, we have an obligation to protect our youth. We have an obligation to use our energy and resources to protect the at-risk BIPOC youth in our community when the city won't do it for us. This facility is across the street from the athletic fields at Parkrose High School and junior high. Children outside exercising in diesel fumes. Again, the most diverse school district in the entire state of Oregon. What message is Portland and Oregon sending by saying, you know what, where should we put a highly noise and air polluting diesel trucking depot? We'll put it in the most diverse school district in Oregon, right next to a bunch of schools. What is that message sending about racial, social, and environmental justice? So what can we do about it? That's a lot of angry. That's a lot of angry from residents all in one facility, like righteous, justifiable anger. I'm pissed off about it. To find out that this project is not a done deal, to find out there are nonprofits that are sweeping in to want to help us stop this from happening is really encouraging. And I want to engage in any way that the neighborhood association or clean air, Neighbors for Clean Air can tell me, like, I'm ready. I'm ready to make the phone calls. I'm ready. I've already sent a slew of emails. I'm ready to show up at all the town halls, write all of the representatives, make a stink on the news, use this platform to make a stink. Our kids deserve better. I would not be living in alignment with my permaculture values if I didn't try to stop this. But it's not just stopping a diesel trucking depot from going in. The city had an abandoned Kmart shopping center for years. That is such an area of potential. Permaculture is solution-minded. Look at this opportunity we have in this large plot of land. What can we do with that would better the community? The CHIPS and Science Act that was signed into law by Joe Biden last year is something that could directly benefit the neighborhood of Parkrose. The CHIPS and Science Act provides funding for redevelopment of underutilized and abandoned sites to turn them into research facilities that support cutting-edge development. We could see that site in East Portland become a huge tech STEM asset for East Portland. And in permaculture, we want to have our options have people care for the folks in our neighborhoods now and also in the future. We cannot steal from the health of our children and our children's children in order to draw an income today. The CHIPS Act would help us be able to bring sustainable industry to the Parkrose neighborhood that would raise the quality of the neighborhood in terms of employment opportunities, socioeconomically. It would improve the quality of the neighborhood, and it would not come with all of that noise and air pollution. So this was a long video. I want you to know, if you are interested in helping the Parkrose neighborhood, I will drop some resources down below. If you struggle with air pollution and you struggle in your neighborhood with a city infrastructure, or maybe it's some kind of bougie HOA that is harming the quality of life in your neighborhood, is a barrier to sustainability, I encourage you to plug into civic engagement. If you are interested in helping Parkrose in particular, please reach out to the Parkrose Neighborhood Association. I'll drop stuff down here, and Neighbors for Clean Air. Again, contact information down below. For me, I feel like I would not be living in alignment with my permaculture values if I didn't take time and energy that I could put into myself and put it into my neighborhood. I want to see Parkrose become the abundant, thriving community that the residents here all envision in our heads. We all see what Parkrose could be. And I don't think I could be a permaculturist if I wasn't an idealist and a dreamer, if I wasn't someone who didn't see the potential and hope endlessly to get there. Thank you for listening to my rant. I realize this was a long video and not my typical subject matter. If you have something in your neighborhood that is your local kind of advocacy issue that you would like to link to down in the comments, please do so. Please use this video as an opportunity to spread the word and raise awareness about the causes in your neighborhood as well. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back very soon.